Welcome to Elimination, the podcast that puts sitcom against sitcom and brothers against father. Here's your host, Bob.
Yes, it is me. Welcome to Elimination, episode 3. We're rocketing through it. I'm not here on my own. I am here with my older brother Mike.
Hello.
And our dad Dave.
How do?
What a lovely day to be sitting indoors with the curtains and the door shut, eh?
Yeah, it's only about 100 degrees outside.
Good episode. Right, we're just going to jump straight into it and pick our sitcoms, because if you've listened to the previous episode, you will find out what we're doing. At the end of episode 1, sitcom will be eliminated, and the other one will go through to the next round. So let's just pick them out. Dave, do you want to pick out the first one?
Okay, here we go. Give them a shuffle. Right, not that one, this one. Ooh, another heavy hitter. It's Porridge.
Porridge,
Ooh.
okay. And the Porridge is up against... Michael?
Game On.
Game On, okay. Well, I'm going to start with this one, because Game On's on
Well,
this...
I think I should read out, which you forgot, but I'll start now. Okay, I'll do Porridge first.
I forgot you was here, Dave.
Yeah, easy done. Right, Porridge is a British sitcom starring Ronnie Barker and Richard Beckinsale, written by Dick Clement and Ian Lafreniere, and broadcast on BBC One from 1974 to 1977. It focuses on two prison inmates, Norman Fletcher, played by Barker, and Lenny Godber, played by Beckinsale, who are serving time at the fictional Slade prison. The series, in which there were 21 episodes, was followed by a 1978 sequel, Going Straight, and a 1979 feature film. Right, I'll whiz through Game On. Right, Game On is a British sitcom which ran for 3 series and aired on BBC Two from 1995 to 1998. The central characters are 3 friends from Herne Bay in Kent. The show is created by Andrew Davis and Bernadette Davis. The central characters are laddish agoraphobe Matthew Malone, played by Ben Chaplin in the first series, and Neil Stuke in the second and third series. Man-eater Amanda Wilkins, played by Samantha Janis, and wimpish Martin Hesden, played by Matthew Cotton. When in their 20s, the trio move into and share a flat in Battersea, southwest London, which Matthew bought with his inheritance. There were 18 episodes.
Right, I'm starting on this one.
Go on in.
Game On is on this list because of me. I don't think either of you would have picked it.
I don't know. It's a great program.
Yeah. I mean, in the 90s, I absolutely loved it. When it first came out, and that dynamic of just 3 people in a flat, and that's pretty much it, really. Sometimes you see Mandy's work or Martin's work, but the setup of them 3 and Matt being, to look at, the coolest man in the world, but is just an idiot. He's just an idiot. But I love all the references. Like he plays Manic Street Preachers. He did the Reservoir Dogs thing with the Teddy's ear, cut it off.
Got on board.
Yeah, got on board. And when Mandy's knocking on the bathroom door saying, "Matthew, I need to go to work," and he comes out of his surfboard and a full wetsuit, he's only going to the front room.
There's loads. He does the taxi driver as well, doesn't he? In front of the mirror.
In the mirror, yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm the only one here. Yeah.
I don't think I actually watched this when it was first aired. I sort of came into it later, probably for you, Bob. And
Probably.
there is a big downside to this sitcom.
There is always a downside. I can't recommend it to anyone because it unplugs at one point.
Series 1 was excellent. It was really good. But in series 2 and 3, they lost the main character. He was the main character.
Or actor.
Yeah, the actor. He went chasing fame and fortune in Hollywood, unfortunately. And the chap who took over, Neil Stuke, just wasn't... Maybe it'd been the other way around, and he'd been in the first series.
Yeah.
You'd have got used to him, but we were so used to. He was such a good character.
Yeah.
He nailed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
That whole testosterone. What is it?
Testosterone. Bob.
That's it.
You haven't got any. You wouldn't understand.
Hello, education. How are you? But yeah, that him and Martin. I mean, when Martin comes home from work and he walks in the door, and Matt's in full American football gear.
Yeah.
In the front room. It's just brilliant. And not that the replacement Matt in the second and third season was a bad actor. He wasn't at all. He was just so different.
It just wasn't him.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose. I mean, the first bloke, he was just such a good-looking, black-haired bloke.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah, the classic.
The next one was like a comic actor.
Yeah, and he was really small. He was really small and kind of weird looking, wasn't he?
What was that?
I don't know.
Did someone just whistle?
We just had a wolf
It's
whistle.
probably
out,
one
so
of Myra's outside, even through the gap in the curtain.
I don't even know if that came out on the recording, but if you didn't, it was a wolf whistle. I'm taking it as mine.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Like when Matt's in bed, in Mandy's bed, in her knickers, he falls asleep in her bed. So I was just checking the facilities. You've got the most comfortable bed in the flat.
You got nothing to
actually.
complain about, man, do you?
Yeah. She lets him keep them though.
Yeah, actually, I bet he did as well.
Yeah.
What about the character Martin Henson, the actor Matthew Cottle? Has he been in much since?
The only other thing I saw him in was in Chicken Shop, which you wouldn't have seen, Dave. You might have seen.
No.
It was terrible.
Was it?
It was awful. Yeah, he played a boss with I think he wore glasses, and he was putting on this voice, and it was awful. It was terrible. But it had loads of people in it from other sitcoms that you recognise all their faces.
Oh yeah.
But brought together, it's just awful, absolutely terrible. But yeah, he nailed it as well, didn't he?
He was good.
Matt gets him a birthday present, the hua.
Oh yeah.
And I asked him for a straightforward massage. Thank you very much. It was very nice.
But when Martin comes in and he gives a birthday card to Matt,
Yeah.
Matt looks at the card, laughs at the joke on front, writes in it, puts it in the envelope, seals it
Happy
up,
birthday, mate.
hands it over to Martin. Martin opens it. The funniest bit for me is he opens it and laughs at the
Yeah,
joke
he
on the
goes,
front. Thanks, mate.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
mate.
Apparently, the viewing figures were very high for the first series, and after he left, they just nosedived.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still a good program. It is a real shame because the writing it was the same program.
well,
right?
technically, he played Matt longer than
Yeah.
Ben Chaplin, but he nailed it. The first season, they nailed it. It was so good that it did take away. I watched it all in the 90s when it was on, and mainly for Samantha Janice, to be honest. She was smoking.
Season 2 and 3 was still good. They were good, but it was that factor is pretty big.
And I think how they did it was at the beginning, the first episode of the second series, they had the new Matt sitting in between Mandy and Martin, and they were watching Home and Away or Neighbours and stuff. And they mention, I hate when they change an actor in the Neighbour, and then they both look at him, and then it got into the program. So that's how they kind of registered it. It was kind of like a wink to the, breaking the third wall or fourth wall, whatever you call it. But
Now, did you know in Finland it was called Two Men and a Blonde? There's a little fact for you. And also in Portugal it's called The Game of Life. There you go.
wow, that's
the same program, same actors and everything.
No, they would have
They
had
No,
it.
they've
remade
probably
it.
got their own people.
No, they
I
do it
don't
with all
know.
other sitcoms. They
Yeah,
sometimes
the
they take-
Americans always did it to ours, didn't we?
Sometimes they take one actor, or I mean, off the top of my head, the IT crowd tried it, and it had Moss in it, the proper Moss. Red Dwarf, they tried to do it.
Yeah,
Crichton was
one episode. It was
Steptoe
horrible.
and
Yeah.
Son, Sanford and Son.
Yeah,
And also To Death Us Do Part became, I forget the name of the programme now, but they tried that as well, and that was really successful. But it didn't look nothing like To Death Us Do Part.
Well, they did it with Porridge as well, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, so ABC invited Dick Clement and Ian Lafreniere.
good name.
Yeah, they invited him.
Is he French?
I'm not sure.
I had a bit of Frenchman in me once.
No, they invited him over, and they actually stayed and lived there. They wrote the third series of Porridge whilst they was there. But it was called. They called it On the Rocks, and it was an American version of. Never made it though, because the ABC wanted it to be family and all that, and they wanted it to be a bit, funny.
Edgy, yeah, funny, yeah.
The Fletch
Good
character,
fact.
the Fletch character, he was going to be called Hector Fuentes.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hector Fuentes.
Fuentes. Yeah. So there you go. That's
It's
true.
a good fact. It's a good
True
fact.
dat.
Thank you for your facts. Wow, that's I did set you the challenge to get facts, didn't I, Michael?
You
That was, he's pulled through. I'm surprised.
I think I've peaked.
Because one word to describe Michael would be lazy, but and late.
Yeah.
Also,
yes.
not dead. I mean, he is here. But
Is everybody there?
so Porridge.
Porridge is one of the all-time great sitcoms.
Agreed.
I don't agree with that.
Audible gasps.
Who pressed the gas button?
Wow.
I Norman Stanley Fletcher is a great character, and Ronnie Barker plays it well.
This program is full of great characters.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I just don't. There are little moments like when.
Yeah, go on.
He's not listening. He's
Yeah,
switched
there's
off.
little moments
You're
when-
dead to me.
I'm playing. Yeah, I may have just lost my father. I just think that there are good moments like with the chalk ice line. There are lines that are golden, but I just don't find it funny.
That's crazy.
I just don't find it funny.
With Barraclough, when he's there, he goes, "Oh, you can't manipulate me into doing stuff," and he hands him his food tray. And he goes, "Oh, of course not, sir," and just walks away. And
But-
he's left there with it. He's like, "Oh."
But I'm going to run through a couple. Can you say there's no characters in? First of all, you got Gobba, the late Richard Beckinsale, who's one of the
Legend.
great tragedies of all time. We lost him 'cause
31 he was.
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale's dad.
Yeah.
he would have been what he was. Really, but what would he have gone on to? But having
absolutely.
said that, he was leaning towards serious acting. Anyway, you got Gobba Fletch. Mr. Mackay, played by Fulton Mackay, is a great character.
Great character.
Mr. Barraclough. Peter Vaughan as Grouty. Great
Yeah,
character.
well, he was in Game of Thrones.
He was.
He
He's
was,
been in
you know-
loads of things. He
you
was
know-
also in Citizen Smith.
Oh, that's a bit.
Power to the
dunno.
People.
Was he?
Yeah.
I
He's
thought
got-
that was the guy from My Family.
Yeah, that is. He plays.
dad.
That's him. He's,
Oh,
he's the
right.
father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Peter Vaughan's the
gotcha.
father-in-law. Anyway, you got David Jason, Blanco Webb.
He played the old man, didn't he?
You got the daughter Ingrid, Patricia Bray. You got Lukewarm, Bunny, Horrible, Jock, Harris. It just goes on.
Yeah, but
Evans who eats light bulbs.
Yeah, but I don't. I just think that just listing a load of characters. That's great, but I don't think they're memorable. When I saw the Jason,
How can you?
when I saw the Jason David Jason character, I just thought, oh, there's David Jason trying to act old. I didn't think he nailed it at all. I thought it was a weak character.
Wow.
I'm just being honest.
Let that hang there.
Please
If
send
it's-
your death threats here.
Let that hang in for a little
Yeah,
while.
Wow.
I just think
I've never. I mean,
his voice is exactly the same. I'm like, oh, there's David Jason. Oh
but-
yeah, look, he's playing the old person, whereas open hours it's all the
see,
other way
I
around.
see it the opposite way
Well
because
done.
he wasn't old. He was very young, and I thought he played the old man really well.
Yeah, it's like Clive Dunn in Dad's Army.
And
He
obviously,
just,
you know it's David Jason, but that makes
Yeah.
it better because I thought we smashed
There's
it.
no comparison to that character Blanco and a touch of Frost.
Which
or-
one's Blanco? Oh, the old boy.
Yeah,
That was-
yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. There's just, I
Yeah.
think he's done a good job. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, it's just an opinion, guys. That's what this
there is
podcast
a
is all
classic.
about.
There is a classic one where they're in hospital beds, isn't there? And that bloke's trying to work out where Blanco's hid the treasure or the money, and they wheel him in, they reel him in, and it turns out they give him the coordinates, and he ends up digging it in the dark, doing his steps, and he does his first spade goes in, and the lights out, and he's in the middle of Leeds United football.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great episode. that was. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm not saying it's the worst one on this list. It'll
I mean,
probably be on the top 10 of
I'm
this
not
list,
being-
but it's good. Ronnie Barker is great, and Norman Stanley Fletcher, I could watch him all day.
Yeah. I mean, there's episodes where they're entirely in that cell. I think there's
That's
one
clever.
or two episodes where they're.
Oh, the right. I mean, well, you got
Yeah.
it is Dick Clement and Ian Lafrene. They also done Weatherhampton, the Lighty Lads. The Lighty Lads. They also done
Oh,
Our
did they?
Vida's Aim Pet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, they're top draw.
I mean, how do you pitch that as well? I mean, you're in a room and you say, right, it's in a prison, but we've got his cell and the gantry bit outside, pretty much. You know, the bulk of it. Now and again he goes to see the warden. Now and again he goes to see
yeah,
the doctor.
but then you say, I've also got Ronnie Barker.
Yeah, there you go.
You're
Sold.
in.
Sold.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Ronnie Barker is in the top.
I mean, I,
Yeah.
Two or
don't, I
three
can't
comedy
see
actors.
beyond him personally. I think he's the greatest.
I mean, when you look at, I mean, I know we'll talk about it in another round probably, but Open All Hours, them two characters, when you put them side to side, they're completely different people.
Yeah, it's not.
They're-
Even the and also take the two Ronnies. The Ronnie
Yeah.
Barker.
With
It
the
just
with-
isn't Fletcher, is it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
with that Clarence, he did a series called Clarence.
Yeah, that was the
where
last thing he
where
done, I
it was
think.
his
Well, the last
short-sighted.
sitcom he done.
And he was brilliant in that, and that was funny. Not a lot of people have heard of.
Yeah, it went under the radar that one, wasn't it? But it was really good. I
He's
mean,
short-sighted. That's
yeah.
we could talk about that. But this
you still got my DVD of that, haven't you?
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck again.
Yeah, you owe
Good
me
luck
50
again,
quid as
that,
well.
Now, here's a question for you. Who done at the start of each episode? Norman Stanley Fletcher. You will go to prison for 5 years. Whose voice is that?
Ronnie Barker's.
It is Ronnie Barker's. You didn't know that,
Yeah, I
did you,
did. I
Bob?
was just about to say it.
Nah, you gotta be quick
That was,
with
a
that.
hope, that was a hopeless fact then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
What do we think? What do we think of the
Norman
follow-up, Going Straight?
It wasn't as good.
No, but
it was all right.
But the dynamic was completely different, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
in that cell, it's his world, whereas out there, it's kind of like he's, if you stay in prison for too long, you kind of become part of it.
And we saw a very,
Yeah, that's it.
we saw a very young Nicholas Lyndhurst in that, didn't we?
Was it?
Yeah, he was his son, wasn't he?
Was he?
I'm sure he was.
I haven't seen
We'll
that
get
in a while.
clarification of that. We
I
can't
haven't-
just be throwing
I
accusations
haven't
out there,
seen that
Dave.
in a while. Going Straight.
But
I've only seen it once.
But then we
the
are.
thing about that is his daughter's voice.
Yeah, but Dave, let me stop. Let me stop
Yeah.
you there because we are talking about Porridge.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the.
Oh no!
Porridge as a standalone. But you're right. His daughter does come and visit him as well, doesn't she?
she's in it, Ingrid.
Yeah. And that is a great voice. Yeah, it is. Irritating. You couldn't live with it, could you?
No.
Yeah. Sorry.
I wanted to ask you a question about Game On.
Okay.
Do you think that they could remake it now?
Yeah. Let's see
What, with 3 totally different characters?
Yeah, well, not that dynamic.
Yeah, but
but
3
set
different
now.
actors. 3
yeah,
different actors.
set now.
Well, of course they could. Yeah. But
But do you think it would work? Because
You'd have to have the right actor.
with
in that.
agoraphobia, you don't go outside, but you've got the internet and all that now. So
you wouldn't be as bored.
Yeah.
You'd just be playing.
That was a
Call of
strange
Duty all day,
concept,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
exactly. What's that?
Being an agoraphobic.
Agoraphobic.
Yeah. I mean, that was a strange.
Well, it was a reason to keep it in the flat.
Yeah.
That's probably why it's a studio sitcom. Whereas if Matt goes out to work or whatever, you've got 3 locations to do. You got you got him walking down the street. You got him in the pub.
But we've not seen it before or since, have we?
No, and I think it's a great idea because it does give you that
hang on.
prison atmosphere.
I mean,
'Cause he's trapped.
Men Behaving Badly is kind of similar.
We'll get onto that
Yes.
in later
Yeah,
rounds.
he don't
maybe.
suffer of agoraphobia,
I've
does
got a
he?
little fact for you
Go
About
on,
what?
hit me with
about
it.
Samantha Janice.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
go on, keep
yeah,
it
go
clean.
on.
Hi, boys. Samantha, this is a great fact.
Oh, you bigged it up now. This better be good.
It is good.
Look at his notes. Look how messy they are. Look, you can't see this, listeners, but it is horrendous.
It's organised chaos.
You're writing it's like graffiti.
You know?
Terrible
I'm
graffiti.
from the streets.
It's
you
all
get
in
me?
shape of penises.
Yeah, they are quite phallic.
Go on, what's this amazing
right.
fact?
Samantha Janice has been nude in 2 movies.
One of them was a rugby film
I've
seen
I
that
don't know.
scene.
I just fast forwarded to the nudie bit.
with Neil Morrissey in it.
Imogen's Face in '98
No.
and A Murder of Quality in '91 when she was only 18. Yum.
And did you know that she's also in Kingsman? She plays his mum.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's still got it.
Yeah, I would.
Oh goodness me.
Lovely. Yeah. She's just actually, she was on.
We're not chauvinists, by the way. We just pretend
We're
to
not.
be.
We're all Matt from Game On. I saw she did a Piers Morgan Lives one, and I didn't really watch it all because I weren't really interested. But she talked about Game On. She said if we had kept it the way it was, it would have been perfect. She said as an actress, it was perfect job. You went in, you did your scenes, it was worked. We got good ratings, and then it just sort of fizzled out, and it's forgotten. I think it's forgotten 90s sitcom.
You've met him, haven't you?
Ben Chaplin,
Yeah.
who played. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'd done a 12-hour shift cooking, washing pots and pans in the kitchen at Maidstone Studio, and then they would shoot in the Hootenanny downstairs afterwards.
Nanny.
Yeah,
Jules Holland.
Jules Holland. Yeah, so I went down there, and I didn't really recognise anyone. There was the bloke you don't like, Dave, the stand-up bloke.
Michael McIntyre.
No,
God,
yeah,
I
him
hate-
as well.
I hate
No,
that
but there were
thing.
the bloke from Plebs with the big hair that was
Oh,
in
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he was in it. He was there. Who's the bloke from Young Ones who we don't like?
Dave. Mike.
Alexi Sal.
Yeah, Alexi Sal was
Oh,
there. He had a big
man.
white beard. But Ben Chaplin was standing in the corner with all the workers or with us, whereas all the other people were sort of in shooting the Hootenanny.
Trying to get on
And
the
he was
screen.
just, all of a sudden, he was next to me. and all the young people.
All of a sudden, like he didn't.
No, but I didn't. That's the funny thing. I didn't because
like a stalker's paradise.
we were in this little kind of mock-up, kind of a mock-up of a calf that they have set up there, and all the youngsters there. I was like, oh my god, that's Ben Chaplin. They were like, who is he? Like,
it's like, you peasants, get out
and
of my
the
way.
record company, the band walked in,
Yeah,
got a beer, and walked out again. But he was there, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to say hello to him. And I told him about the fact that I'm writing my own sitcom, and he was like, oh, good luck to you, mate. Yeah, it's not an easy game to get into. He said, do you work here? Like, and I was too embarrassed to say, yeah, I was washing pans and that. I was like, yeah, I'm just a runner. Like, I made it up, but
I gave yourself the lowest job as well.
Yeah, but on production. But yeah, and I got to talk to him, and he was a really, really nice bloke. I said to him, "What are you up to now?" And he was like, "Not a lot." But he was in that program you watched, Dave, with the blokes, the Mad. Is it Mad?
Mad Dogs.
Mad Dogs.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. The American one was good as well. See the American
No,
one?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's good. I'll tell you who's in it.
It's called Hangover.
You know Christopher in The Sopranos?
Yes.
He's one of the 4.
Daniel
That's him. That's him. Yeah, both.
Well pronounced.
Both the
I
English.
think you'll find that was perfect, actually.
He was in both versions.
Was he?
So
Was he? Oh, yeah.
we've been through Porridge, we've been through Game On, we've done.
We've
some
gone
facts.
off topic.
We've got, absolutely,
Somewhat.
absolutely. But I think it's time now for the official.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, to me, this is like Manchester City playing Stockport. Really?
Well, in the 70s.
Yeah, what? The 70s or now?
I took a guess. I took a guess at a decade.
I'm going
Good
for
side.
I'm going for Porridge all day long. Porridge for me.
I am as well. It's got to be. It's just. It is the superior.
It's a class above, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Game On is on this list because
and
of me,
and I love
it.
Game On.
And
I
I love
love
it.
Yeah, that first series
And if
is
you
great.
and it is a forgotten sitcom of the 90s, and that's what I wanted on this list because I wanted to talk about it. And if you haven't seen it, have a look. It's probably on YouTube or whatever, and you probably
Watch
get
the
DVD.
first series first.
Watch the first series, yeah. It is great, but Porridge is better.
I would be interested if somebody was to watch 2 and 3 first. And then go
watch
back,
1 and say, oh no, I didn't like
I
the other.
prefer the
Yeah.
other Matt.
That would be
Yeah,
intriguing.
Well, challenge out there for our listeners. Do it and
my
comment on.
12-year-old stepdaughter loves it. I introduced her to it a couple of days ago.
And she watched it and
Yeah.
liked it. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. And did she mention the bloke changing?
Well, we didn't get that far.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let us know maybe next time. I do want to say just before we finish, because my vote was for Porridge. It is better than Game On. So that's a whitewash.
Free zip.
Yeah, free zip. So Porridge goes through and Game On is eliminated. Before we go, I just wanted to say if you join us on Patreon and give us a little bit of money, we'll be very grateful. There is a Patreon-only Facebook page as well where you can see videos, and I'll probably put a picture of Michael's writing up there because it's ridiculous. But thanks for joining us, and join us next time for another elimination. See you later.
Toodles.
See you later.
If you enjoyed the show, why not help the lads out by going to Patreon and join the debate. Music by Ben Sound.